Hey guys, Will with Just Add Water. Want to show off or show you our commercial fountainscape that we did for one of the home builders here in our area up in Ankeny. They just moved into this location for their new headquarters. So part of that and the big goal there was to give you a good sight as you drive by, welcome you as you drive down and into the parking lot. But then also it's kind of to their other locations across the country, they all kind of have these similar looks. So we were able to kind of get our foot in the door by working with some of the employees of the company in the past. So that was kind of how we got this job. They know that we do pretty good work with the water and everything. So as you're about to see, the first about 2.5 weeks or so of this project was all like the underground, the reservoir, the prep work, and everything else. So it was very slow going, and then went quick and we got to make that statement piece. So let me know what you guys think in the comments.
We are out here in Ankeny doing this fountainscape, and we are currently working on just filling in this basin. We got to put a bunch of aggregate and river rock inside of here, pack it in as we go up. So every 3 inches, every 2-3 inches, we're running this thing over with our plate compactor. So essentially, we're gonna fire up plate compactor, just go in circles around this thing, smacking everything down. And after a little bit of that, we're gonna come in and just start dumping rock and spreading it as they keep going back and forth. Slowly bringing ourselves up and giving ourselves as much compaction as possible. So the good part is we need a little bit of water to do that. We sort of struggled with getting water out here because there's no hookup or anything like that right now. Nothing is turned on, it's new construction, so that's a little bit of a challenge. But we have been blessed by Mother Nature. She is in fact bringing water down from the sky, and it's just enough that we can use that to sort of keep everything damp as we compact. So it's also about 20 degrees cooler today than it is the rest of this. So we're gonna take advantage of what we got right now. We might get a little bit wet, but it's gonna be fun. Let's go. Good morning, everybody. Another day here at this fountain build in Ankeny, and we're plucking right away. So currently just still working on getting everything brought up inside of this concrete area so we have a solid base and nothing settles on us. Never ever, because that would be really bad. So today, here we are. We have ag brought up, a couple more courses to come until we're up to this dirt height. But before we get that, Brady and I are going to work on getting everything in this area leveled out. So we have a hole drilled through a wall over on the backside of Brady where those pipes are sticking up at. That's just drilled, and the ag goes right up against it. So groundwater, when it gets in here, has a place where it can escape so it doesn't hang out underneath our basin. Today, we're going to grade all this soil so it slopes down towards the corner of that. Lay our aggregate tile, our tile line down so we can fill in over it over in that area. And then that way we have a good system to really sort of accelerate water getting out of this spot. So grade work this morning, get some tile line put in, get some stuff done before the heat gets too hot. Hit a patta, get at it. morning, everybody. We are out here in Ankeny and we are continuing on with this fountainscape. So we have all of our aggregate laid. We are currently laying out a template of what our basin is going to look like with caps from aqua blocks, also so we can get an accurate count on how many we need to build. Obviously, if they were completely built, this would be a lot more taxing of a process. So doing with the caps makes it a bit quicker and a bit simpler. So we're getting these all laid out, get an idea on what we're going to do. We'll set in our vaults in the areas we're going to pull the blocks out and then dig down for our vaults. That way we can get those set. We'll get a layer of sand put over this aggregate to finish leveling everything out perfectly. And then fabric, liner, blocks, bring everything in, and we'll start working on our basin. So the goal for the day is going to have fabric, liner, and fabric put in, and then start laying our blocks ideally, so then we don't have to haul all these aqua block materials back, and we can get an idea on if we need to bring more with us, because we maxed out our space in our vehicles today, getting enough material to build upwards of 130 aqua blocks. So, a lot of blocks, a lot of water storage, and it normally means a lot of flow, which is going to be the case for this job. We're excited. Pitter patter, let's go. Good morning, everybody. We are finally back out here at Ankeny at this fountain build. It's been about a week since we've been here. We sort of overlapped with a few of the contractors. They had to do some concrete work and we didn't want any of that dust getting into our basin, so we let them finish up. Now we're back out here. So we have our base and everything like that laid out. It's flat, it's at the heights we want it to, and now we pretty much can say this is now when our hole is dug. So next step in that is installing our fabric, our liner, our fabric, and then our 140 large block basin. So today you got me and Ty out here. We are about ready to start putting fabric and liner in. We'll get that put in. Once that's in, Ty's gonna get going on building us a bunch of aqua blocks. I'm gonna work on getting our vaults locked in, so we got some places to put our pumps, and we're gonna keep chipping along. So let's get after it. Good morning, guys. Another day out here in Ankeny working on this fountain build, and we are chipping away on our aqua blocks. So yesterday we got our liner and our fabric and everything like that put in, and we got about 60 to 70 of our blocks built and put in the hole, along with our vaults and everything like that. So today we are going to finish building these blocks, get the rest of them installed in this basin, get everything shifted around so we can get as many of them in here to fit as possible, fold everything in, sort of cover up the top of our block surface so we can't get anything down in there, and then start filling in the edges of this with sand. So that is our plan today. Our vaults are here. We got more blocks to fit into this little area through here. Tons more blocks to put in there. We got Evan and Ty chipping away, building them. Fun little day. Sun's shining. Let's go. So good morning everybody, a beautiful day out here in Ankeny as we continue on our way with this fountain construction. So the exciting part about today is we actually start to work on the fountain pieces themselves. So we have our flat piece of liner that we're going to drape across our entire base in this area. That's going to cause a pooling section to form. Getting that cut, going to get that stretched out. Then it's about finding the center point in this system. So we want to try to find the dead center of this concrete circle we're in, so then we can get our fountain pieces put in the middle so everything just frames up real nicely. If it's off by just a smosh, it'd probably be all right, but we want to try to get it as centered as possible so you get great views from all around this and it all just looks very symmetrical. That being said, we also got to try to figure out how we're going to run all of our plumbing and stuff like that here. We got a pretty solid idea, but once we get stuff set in place, you can actually see what we're working with on how we got this fountain piece put together and how it's going to affect our pooling area and all that. We can sort of think a little bit more in depth on what that plumbing work's going to do. So we're going to get our flat piece stretched out, lay that out, start laying our block and stuff like that, get an idea on what's going to happen for that, for the centering of it, and who knows, maybe we'll have our fountain pieces roughly set today. Let's go, let's see what happens. Alright guys, we're chipping away. So we have our whole border edge finished up, all the liners flopped out. We're locking it in with a ring of gravel around all of it. We're going to cut our flop liner on the back side of everything, install our tile line in on the back side of that wall so we can drain back down into the basin, fill that back side up with gravel, locking everything in around this whole area, and then that section is going to be done for the day. So right now, while the guys are doing that, I'm working on getting this locked in. We're going to take these pipes, put them into the back of the walls where you can see them lining up right now, put a fitting on the back side to sort of create anchors in the back of all this, put some gravel in here to lock in the anchors with gravel, and then we'll fill up the inside of this too, keeping weight on this, and all this should keep this snug over time. It's warm, we got a little bit more to do before we call it a day for the 4th of July. 4th of July is tomorrow, so we're going to crank out these last couple hours and then have a good weekend. Let's go.
So we're back out here at our big fountainscape. One thing that we need to talk about is we might change. Originally, when we designed this feature, we didn't have access to a certain type of fountainscape, which is a giant 6-foot diameter sphere, that now we're gonna give them the option that rather than those 3 spheres up top, we're gonna put one big one in the middle of this wall. It's a little bit closer to the inspiration picture that we got, so we'll get the approval on that once we get everything kind of staged and prepped. Otherwise, we'll go back to the original design.
quick little update. I'm sure you saw yesterday we tried something out. We tried using one of these massive spheres here to go on top and give us kind of a dome shape instead of the original plan, which is those 3 smaller spheres. The client's got to look at it, and I think we're going to stick with the original plan. We're going to have the 3 spheres, kind of different tiers and heights. That way you can get a good view of all of it. There's nice depth to it. We're getting this rock work and stuff finished up here. That way you're not going to see any of the liner. It's going to hide where the water is going to overflow down into the basin, kind of like a negative edge or intake bay. I just got done tacking in these strips here. That way the walls are going to be more secure. We've got these pieces of PVC in here to prevent the walls from caving in, but this is more to prevent them from bowing out. All that's left to do is get the plumbing line in and stuff for the spheres, do some wiring, wait for our parts to get here so we can finish out the plumbing, and then we should have water running in no time.
Hey guys, we're back out here at our big fountainscape, getting ready to do the top plumbing portion and kind of finishing up some of the stuff down below. So I'll walk you through what we're gonna do and then check this out. Here's our plumbing section where our 3 spheres are gonna sit. So we've got our 4-inch main line that we're gonna reduce down into 4 2-inch lines, 1 extra, and then our 3 spheres in there. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna bring in some more gravel to lock everything in. We're gonna put a bib liner down across all of this so that you get to pool water in here. So then all the water that's gonna come up from here is actually gonna continue to cascade down our stack slate walls. So check it out. All right, we are getting ready to wrap up this beautiful commercial fountainscape. All of our plumbing is done. Electrical is about to be finished inside. So once everything's kind of finalized and glued, and we're gonna clean up a little bit, and then we are gonna get this thing turned on. Once we're turned on, we get to dial in our ball valves, and then we will start kind of the final 10%. Those final touches, we're gonna hide all of this. We're gonna bring that area up in some space a little bit, bring everything up, kind of have a dry gravel area. We're going to use some more of these sphere pieces to hide these big vaults, and then we'll go along our edge and cut out this liner. And here we go, last little bit. We got our lights in, set them, hide these cords, wrap up. That's a wrap on this commercial fountainscape project. Like I said, this was a long, hot, working in the concrete hole in the middle of a concrete parking lot in the middle of July was warm. That was probably the biggest hurdle we overcame. But overall, this thing turned out pretty sweet. Definitely, as you're driving by and you get those views, we accomplished the sites that they wanted to achieve with their new building and everything. So it's worked out great. Let us know what your favorite part about this project was down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see our video next week. Have a good week.